Right, here's a question where it is actually quite difficult to visualize what's going on until you take the time to draw it. There were 120 more eggs in box A than in box B. There were two-thirds as many eggs in box C than in box B. When half of the eggs in box B were sold, there were 222 eggs left in box B, and we're asked how many eggs were there all together. Okay, right. Let's start at the beginning. There are 120 more eggs in box A than in box B. Okay, so, well, I'm going to do A, and I'm going to do B, and I'm going to do C. Let's see how I'm going to do this. I'm actually, because it says there were 120 more eggs in box A than in box B. Box B is the smaller box. I'm going to draw a bar. This is for B. I've made it quite big because I can see that I'm going to be splitting things up later. Now, let's check again. We're going to draw A now. Is that going to be bigger or smaller than B? Well, it says there are 120 more eggs in box A than in B. So let's do this. A has got the same as B plus 120 more. Okay, I don't know how big that ought to be. And nor do you when you're doing this question. I've got no idea what the value of this is compared to this. Okay, but I know that this is 120. All right. Okay, so there are 120 more eggs in A than in B. I'm happy that I've got that. Okay, there were two-thirds as many eggs in box C than in box B. There were two-thirds as many eggs in C than in box B. So C is being compared to B, and C has two-thirds of what is in B. Does that make sense? So what I need to do is here, this is what B has. I need to split B into thirds. Okay, so B's bar has now been split into 3 equal parts. So these are thirds. And C has two-thirds of what is in B. So here we go. C, in comparison to B, has two-thirds of what is in B. All right. I hope that makes sense. I'm happy that I've got that right. Okay. Right. Now, what does it tell us? When half of the eggs in box B was sold, there were 222 eggs left in box B. So half were sold. Okay. Now, at the moment, we've split it into 3 equal parts. So I'm going to, but I need to split this whole thing into half. So I'm going to put a line down the middle here. So this is split in half. So we've got 2 equal parts here. And you've seen me do this before. I'm then going to do the same to all the rest. And actually, because I've done that here, I'm going to do that here too. Okay. And really, what I ought to do is, because remember that this bar is the same as this bar, I'm going to do the same here. Okay. So, because remember this is the same as this. Okay. Right. Now where are we? Back to this. So when half of the eggs in box B were sold, so this is the halfway mark. Let's say that this is what we sold. Okay. And half of B's eggs were sold. There were 222 eggs left. So that means that these 3 parts represent 222. Now I can do a division. So there's 3 parts are equal to 222. So if I divide 222, if I divide that by 3, It's 70, which is 74. That gives me a value for each of these parts. Okay. And in fact, if these are 74, these are 74, these are all 74. And because I divided this up as well, this is also 74. This is not 74. Remember, this is a separate part. We have a value for that. That's 120. Okay. This part is not equal to these. Okay. Now, also what you can see is that what I've drawn, this bit here is out of scale, I now realize, with this. Okay. But it doesn't matter. Okay. Right. What do we have to figure out now? It says, how many eggs were there all together? Okay. So we need to know how many equal parts of 74 we have. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. So we need to multiply 74 by 16. Okay. And that is equal to 1,184. And then, but we also have to add this 120 here. So add or plus 120, and that is equal to 1,304. Okay, and that is our final answer. Okay, 1, 3, 4. But can you see how we had to do, various steps, and each time we have to keep track of what it is that we're doing and try and fill in the information on our model to make sure that we stay on track and that we know what we're doing.